Welcome back, League fans. Game 4 is on the horizon, and it is a showdown between Echo Fox Academy and 100 Thieves. Now, so far this split, we have yet to see the same Echo Fox that took the Academy Finals to a Game 5 finisher last time around.
Yeah, it's been a disappointing start to the season for Echo Fox, but not entirely unprecedented one, or unexpected one, excuse me. The team replaced their best soul laners, in Alorum and Damonte, and as a substitute, they're also using substitute support, So it's likely these guys haven't played a ton of games together, and we have to wait to see if they can pull together some wins as the split progresses. Echo Fox had a slow climb in the spring standings as well, so maybe it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to have that happen again.
Right, we're only in week 2. Even if things start off shaky, they can get better over time. But they face off against 100 Thieves, who are going to need to bounce back after a tough loss to Cloud9 yesterday that we already talked a little bit about earlier.
Yeah, Cloud9 could not have been happy about dropping a game last week, and unfortunately for 100 Thieves, they found themselves on the business end of that anger last night. But that loss aside, we did see a split week 1 out of the team, with their Super Yi strategy not working well. But when Levi and Brandini absolutely popped off when they were playing more comfortable meta champions. So Levi's really good, but the coordination needed to pull off those fragile strategies is just not there right now. So I think it's best to diversify your portfolio, invest some in Levi, but don't ignore Brandini and Rikara either as a solid fallback plan.
All right, let's see if they can get those numbers up. Let's get into the starting lineups right now on the blue side. It's 100 Thieves Academy with Brandini in the top lane, Levi, the man in the jungle, Linsanity at mid, Rikara bottom with Stunt on support, and Coach Joseph Jang.
And over on the red side, it's Echo Fox Academy. In the top lane, Nintendo jungling Odd Orange, Yusui in the mid lane, Lost in the bot lane supported by Adrian, all coached by Peter Zhang.
Now, talking about Levi and the communication thing, I want to hit on that a little bit more because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, OMG, gold funnel strat. You have Levi. You have the man who took Gigabyte Marines to the world stage. Why are we not gold funneling? Why are we not Master Yi? Why are we not this and that? And gold funnel is so easily broken if you fall behind. When your entire team is one threat, if that threat is not perfectly on the same page, I don't even want to say same page. I don't even want to say same paragraph. If he's not reading the same line as everybody else on that,
maybe.
Yeah, having the book printed in the same language would help a lot too. It's so difficult to coordinate to a level where you can work with one threat that I think the communication cannot be underestimated. And right now, it's still not at the level it needs.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say, like, Levi's a really strong player. You give him Grave, he can kind of run around, exert his influence over the game without needing to heavily rely on his teammates. That's probably a better strategy for them than one where it's like, all right, Levi, please coordinate with all your laners to be able to secure as much farm as possible while not being down pressure. And it's like, that sounds a lot harder than like, take Graves, run around.
Take Graves, shoot their chickens, shoot their players, all of a sudden,
yeah,
mission accomplished.
Much easier strategy to follow up on.
All right, jumping into picks and bans. The first bans are already done on the side of 100 Thieves. It's Shen, Irelia, and Zoe taken off the table. The response from Fox, Graves, Nocturne, and Rakan. We were talking about the Graves and how well it works. Nocturne's another one of those champions. The famous Gigabyte Marines game where Levi's level 6 and Nocturne ults a level 3 bottom lane. We will not get to see such a strategy today.
We have never seen that strategy since that one day that
it was really awesome the day that it happened.
It was amazing, but it was a once-in-a-lifetime game most likely. Nocturne these days just plays like a regular jungler and does pretty well, so no surprise to that banned out against 100 Thieves.
All right, with all those out of the way, we will see 100 Thieves picking up the Lulu. Now on patch 8.11 mark, we saw a lot of this. Have they not forgot about the snap? Half the durations disappeared on those shields. We'll see if Lulu's is relevant here in 8.12.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, she has a lot of other things going for her. The polymorph is good against people who jump on you. The ult's great. The speed up's great. The shield, which was also great, wasn't the defining feature of her kit, quite like, hey, I'm Janna. I press E.
Hey, I'm Janna. I have no button that works on my keyboard but E. But it's still going to work just fine, don't you worry. We'll see how that Lulu pick works out. And also, we're only talking about Lulu as a champion that defends. Lulu can be very aggressive.
Yeah.
We saw, even in that game from the LCK the other night when the Kai'Sa went Super Saiyan mode, Lulu's able to wild growth her and shield her and protect her. And when you protect somebody that dives into the back line, all of a sudden, it's a house jumping at you instead of a person, and you're pretty scared.
Yeah, it's a lot of champions that work with. We've seen it with the Nocturnes, we've seen it with the Camille's. You can basically run it with anything, and it works out just fine. Even Zen, why not? Anything that jumps in, the extra bit of knock-up CC is great.
Well, on the side of Echo Fox Academy, we're going to go ahead and see Lucian and Camille already picked up for this squad. Camille has been so popular for Red Side today in that first rotation. I believe the 3 games she wasn't banned now, she's been picked first rotation by Red Side all 3 games.
I think it's because she's not as high priority of a pick compared to things like Zoe, Aurelia, Shen, you know, some of these other things that we're seeing banned out. And so Red Side is maybe throwing those bans at them, and then being able to potentially walk away with Camille is why you tend to see her just not quite high enough in priority to get banned out, but still high enough to get taken very early on.
Well, 100 Thieves' response to that is going to be Swain and Xinjiao. We got to see both those champions in the previous match as well. Braum picked up by Echo Fox Academy. Wanted to make sure they got one of those top-tier supports to throw in there. And with their support locked in, they say, you know what?
Let's ban out yours.
We don't like supports that much anymore. We're going to ban Morgana and Alistar out of this game. As the response from 100 Thieves, they say no Galio. We don't want to be dealing with that this game. They still got 1 ban left to go, and we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, Galio is an interesting pick. Would work pretty well with Camille. Still a very strong synergy with those 2 champions.
Yep.
So no surprise. That one banned out, as well as the Ornn ban. A little surprised to see that with Mundo and some other things still up. I think it's obviously Ornn's engage range with his ultimate is still kind of unparalleled. You know, I get it, but it feels like there's stronger things in the top lane. So a little surprised to see that, and yeah, sure enough, looks like Echo Fox is going to go with that Mundo.
There's a strong pick in the top lane. As soon as you leave that open, that's inviting your opponents to come in and pick that one up. Now, how do you respond, 100 Thieves? What are you going to take into the Mundo? We've seen the Aatrox do well into it already. Maybe that's what they go for.
Yeah, Aatrox makes a lot of sense. You're not, oh, I was about to say maybe Kenen, but I guess they're actually going to do that. AP Kenen's interesting because you'll have that kind of laning advantage that Kenen tends to have versus everyone, but you're not good later.
I don't like, if they lock this in, I do not like that at all.
Well, let's see.
Hold on. Hold.
They're flashing a lot of champs I don't like.
Yep.
I don't like any of those champs.
Yeah, this all feels badman. Okay, so now, riddle me this, Mark. Your opponents have Dr. Mundo, who has magic resistance innate built into his kit and loves to build more of it. Yep,
yeah.
but don't, come on, I got to do my bit.
You must walk the path.
Yeah, we have to walk the full path. And your team has 2 champions that don't do damage.
Yeah.
2 champions that only do AP damage to this champion that I already talked about so much AP building, and Xinjiao. How do you kill Dr. Mundo?
You don't. You kill everyone else, and then you end the game, and Dr. Mundo is still running around.
So the entire goal is to just let Mundo slap your guys even as you're taking the Nexus.
100 Thieves wins the game. Mundo is 0-0.
That's the plan. Okay.
That's the plan.
All right, we'll see if this 100 Thieves composition can ignore Dr. Mundo effectively enough. But it's going to be so damn hard with these picks the way they are. They are going to go up against a team that has finalized their squad with Aurelion Sol there in the mid lane.
Yeah, so this is an interesting game. Obviously, 100 Thieves is on a clock against Mundo here with their comp. They're going to need to find some snowball. They have Xin, who is a really strong level 2 skirmisher. You might be able to snowball. Lulu also scraps very well early on. The problem is Aurelion Sol and Camille are also very strong champions early on, so they've kind of matched the mid pressure. Lucian should be advantageous against Swain pre-6, and then so maybe the bot lane can make things happen pre-6. And, you know, 100 Thieves early game is not so substantially better than Fox that they should have an easy time in this game.
All right, let's see if 100 Thieves can make me a believer in this composition as they take themselves to the Rift, trying to avenge that loss yesterday, wanting to come back, take another 1 week, see if they can make that magic happen. Echo Fox Academy, like we previously mentioned, still looking for that first win. 2 other teams have walked the same path today. TSM Academy just got their first win of the split, while earlier Clutch Gaming Academy missed out on their first win of the split by 2 auto attacks onto a Nexus. So if those games were any indicator, things could be looking good here for Echo Fox.
We'll have to see. Is thus far a very promising game just based off the pick ban phase. And who knows, maybe there are some things 100 Thieves can do, like have your Kenen build AD. You might be able to go play the Rune King Kenen or something like that. It's not very meta right now, and I wouldn't recommend it most of the time, but if you're going to match Mundo in the side lane, you need sustained
I feel like
damage.
you have to.
You have to have sustained damage. So maybe the AD Kenen is going to be the main option.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Well, he does. I mean, he has pressed the attack. So I feel like we are probably looking at AD Kenen. If this is AD Kenen, I feel a lot less bad about this composition than I do if it was AP Kenen. I still don't feel good about it. but it feels better than all AP and Zinjao versus Mundo.
Yeah, I mean, AD Kenen's always been a little bit stronger of a lane bully. You have plenty of magic damage with Swain and Lulu, so you really don't need more magic damage. You're also not going to win team fights against the Mundo later, so it's not like you have to worry about, oh, well, AP Kenen's a better team fighter.
Well, yeah, but AP Kenen will still do a grand total of 400 damage to Mundo, so...
Yeah, I did 400 damage to Mundo and like 1,000 to other people. So I do like the decision here to go AD, but it does still feel like a very tough situation to be in.
So we'll just keep on pushing early on here. Aurelian's still so good at doing this with those stars early on. You position yourself to the side of the wave, make it so the stars hit all minions that they pass through, and just get that shoved in. Make it so your opponent has to answer you early on. Immediately take that control.
And this is why the idea behind 100 Thieves, mid-jungle synergy is pretty good. Lulu's in is really aggressive at scrapping with people. The problem is if your Lulu is always pushed in, you're going to have a hard time meeting up with your jungler. So I do like the Aurelian Soul pick for Echo Fox here, and it does buy them a lot of space and room to breathe in the early game.
Bottom side, we'll see the Swain played down here in the duo lane. First time today. See how well that works out.
Oh, Aurelian Soul's coming down
level
too.
1 turret dive onto 2 different members. We'll see how well Echo Fox Academy can play this. When the damage coming through, stun gonna be taken low. One more hit'll do it. Odd Orange gets in there. He will be taken down. It's a 1-for-1. Echo Fox go very, very hard, very, very early.
That is a very surprising dive to go for. Like you said, super hard. The enemy team has 3 teleports. So even if, you know, it's one of those things where I can't believe they went for that dive, considering that Brandini also had pressure up in the top lane, given that he's Kenen versus Mundo, so he easily could have TP'd down in there as well. There's almost no world where you dive successfully and do not trade kills out.
Here comes your Aurelian Soul,
and this is a good stun right away. Odd Orange goes flying into him, and they just trade stuns out. And while stun will die here, Odd Orange has to flash back in for the auto attack to make it work at all, and then Insanity picks up double buff, so I'm sure Yasui's very happy about that.
if you saw the way that the stars worked from Yusui, the star was about to touch stunt again and kill him without Odd Orange's flash, and he ran out of mana, and the stars immediately recalled. It was a split second away from potentially being a 1-0.
And that's one of the reasons you don't see Aurelian Soul roam exactly at 3. While he does have that potential, a lot of the time, Aurelian Soul's first 3 levels are about shoving the wave. You just hold your W down, you push the wave and help secure Scuttle Crabs, and then once you hit 3, you've usually used all 3 charges of your Corrupting Pot, you have your escape velocity, so you go back to base, and you escape velocity back to mid lane with full mana and some extra items, and then you really start pressuring the map. But they didn't let Yusui do that, and he roamed bottom, like you said, with, I don't know, 100 mana or something, and really couldn't contribute very much to that fight.
Brandini keep on pushing this Mundo in, though. 31 CS compared to 20. This is what AD Kenen does. We already mentioned earlier, Kenen is the lane bully, more so when he's got the AD build. Even if he misses a couple of the farm right there, he's still doing better than Mundo is. Nintendo does not want to abandon all these minions, though. He'll walk right back up there and keep farming those up, as Levi realizes now is not the time to try to take the Krugs.
Yep, Odd Orange has shown up in the laning phase, and this is, like I said, probably a little frustrating for Yusui, a little hard to get the priority against a double buff Lulu, but the double buffs run out, and from here he should have a relatively easy time continuing to push the mid wave in. With all the nerfs that have come to AP Lulu over the years, her wave clear is just really not too strong right now and has no way of really competing with that Aurelian Soul.
I remember when Lulu first came out, it was funny because I think the messaging around Lulu is, hey guys, we've got this champion and her role is to be a support and she's going to be really cool. And then all the players were like, no, she's a mid laner. We're just going to build.
She was a top laner first. Void was the one, I think, who really broke.
Everyone was like, no, we know this is supposed to be a support, but we're just going to play it in solo lanes instead because it is so incredibly strong. And yeah, she's been nerfed quite a lot over the years.
It was kind of like rework Galio, where she was instantly getting played basically in 4 roles. Like jungle Lulu worked.
Machine Gun Lulu, sometimes you would see as like a meme in 80 carry build.
Oh, hold on, diving the top side.
All right, they've got the Kenen ultimate. Mundo still only level 5. Nintendo looking to flash away. Brandini still going to be soaking that turret for so very long, barely walking himself away. But barely is enough today, and that means they've got time to take down this tier 1 turret. As Echo Fox says, all right, enemy jungler's top side. That means we're onto the Drake looking to take this cloud for themselves. Should not be any problem with that. Odd Orange makes sure they get it, but trading that away for the gold advantage of first turret, I don't know if that's your ideal world.
before I continue reminiscing about Lulu, I just have to say I really do not like the way Echo Fox is playing this early game. Why are you trying to snowball bot side? You have a better comp. Just protect your weak points. There's two ways to play this game with the Aurelion Sol. You can go bottom with mid priority and try and destroy the Taric Swain, which is a pretty beefy bot lane, or you could spend more time pressuring up the top side of the map and making sure your Mundo, who is going to become unkillable, does not fall behind.
To be unkillable.
Yeah. And I really don't like their decision to put so much focus down in the bot lane here with all those roams and the dragon trades. If they spent more time protecting their top side, yeah, okay, maybe the gold lead is still the same, but at least your Mundo has not been killed once and didn't lose his turret against a Kenen, who, like we said, by building the Blade of the Rune King, actually can split push against him.
All right, I'm going to keep that point in mind for later. We'll check back up on that in, I don't know, 10 minutes or so and see where that Mundo is sitting. Because if he does fall too far behind, I mean, it could get really dicey.
It's been a while since we've seen a Mundo not come online, but when he does, it's pretty sad. He pops his ult.
He's even the color of a melee minion.
Yeah, like he pops his ult, deals a bunch of damage to himself, and then dies. Like, that's what behind Mundo looks like. And like I said, he's been so strong now for these past 2 patches that it feels like it's been a while since I've seen that Mundo. But we might be on track for that kind of Mundo game.
We'll see if Echo Fox Academy wants to lend any help towards him, or if they've already just thrown him enough under the bus that they're like, yeah, you're speed bump Mundo at this point. Try to do what you can.
You're kind of scuffed already.
Yeah, we're not going to try to do that because it's just going to be trying to plug all the holes in a sinking ship at this point. But Brandini's going to keep on shoving up. He's having a good time. And I don't know what it is today, Mark, but the teams are just loving to help their Kenens.
Yeah, they just like Snowball in the Kenen. I mean, he's a great champion to Snowball, has a lot of pressure in lanes, has some gank set up and all that stuff. So no surprise. We'll have to see if Brandini can kind of continue the Snowball, putting himself in a really bad spot here.
Yep, tries to flash away. Hextech no! Yoinks him right back into the fight, but he'll still make it a 1-for-1, taking down Odd Orange there. They get him, but oh, you hate to see those kinds of interactions, or you love to see him if you're on the side of Echo Fox Academy, bringing him right back to the blast cone.
I mean, it did end up killing Odd Orange for it. The Hextech ultimatum was just slightly too small for Brandini's model to get over the wall.
So it had to place him back where he could actually pass.
Yeah, it had to place him back actually on the other side. Very funny looking interaction there, and unlucky for Brandini. He kind of played it pretty well to give himself the best chance to live, and even after that, still traded back 1-for-1. We'll see it again here. This is definitely a little too aggressive. No vision. Nice flash out on the ult, and then it looks like the corner is just big enough there, but even that Yorba model too big to fit in that little corner of the Hextech ultimatum.
Still very well played by this 100 Thieves top laner to make sure that he takes someone with him. What's a 3 versus 1?
Unfortunate that it did give Mundo a lot of gold and buy him enough space to actually push his lane out and all the way into the top side. It allows him to get his Ninja Tabby, start working on that Bomby Cinder. And so that could be the mistake that really alleviates a lot of the pressure, because as soon as the Kenen starts allowing Mundo to get some gold intake, especially with the turret down, it's a longer lane to farm. He has to expose himself more.
And look at the gold leads, because right now it's a 1.1,000 lead overall for 100 Thieves compared to Fox. It's 1.1,000 in Mundo. Yeah, that is the name of the game. Granted, there are a little bit of discrepancies in other roles as well that ultimately equal out, but you can contribute the entire lead to top lane. And that's a pretty bad situation to be in for Dr. Mundo. With the Ninja Tabbies, though, those are going to serve to protect him from a lot of that Blade of the Ruin King annoyance. Still doesn't have that item fully completed on the side of Brandini, but with the control over top side that they have, Levi says, all right, let's go ahead and grab Rift.
Yep, similar strategy to what we saw in game 1 or 2 with CLG, where they snowball their top side using the Kenen, then convert that into a Rift Herald, which they'll probably end up dropping mid or something. And Echo Fox sticking to their guns, continuing to pressure down around the bot side. Odd Orange makes his way. That call, that global Rift Herald death, signals to Echo Fox that there's no way that this dive would get dissuaded, and so they'll get this bot turret for free.
Echo Fox finally getting themselves their first turret of the game. Brings us back up to a pretty even gold point, as Nintendude will try to be a pain for Shelly to deal with, but instead ends up getting a lot of pain of his own. Levi hits him up there, does point a lot of damage. Shelly loses half her HP before she makes the charge, but remember this, the new way that Shelly works is as long as that charge goes off, she still hits really hard.
That was a really strange Rift Herald usage to me. You kill it, you have maximum time to figure out a good time to use it. Your bot lane just took the bot turret, or the enemy bot lane just took the bot turret. The most common rotation after that is to move mid.
You know what I
You
think
take
that
the break
was?
bot turret.
I think that's the I'm trying to ward the Raptor pit. Oh wait, I have Rift Herald. Rift Herald.
Maybe, because he spawned the Rift Herald over the wall, which maybe he was trying to do that, but the enemy team collapses. Dr. Mundo runs around like an idiot, like, hey, hit me, trying to bait them into a fight as his bot lane collapses. And of course, they don't take the fight, but they also just watch Rift Herald do 1,500 damage to their turret, and that's it.
Yep.
Very questionable series of events there by 100 Thieves Academy, but still in a decent spot.
I don't know. I'd still put money on that being that I meant to use my trinket. I used my Rift Herald.
And if we get an interview after this one, maybe we can ask, what did Levi mean to do there?
Yeah, what was the intended play with the Rift Herald? We'll see. We'll see. That is going to be the second Drake of the game spawning here in 5 seconds. FOXA Academy did secure the first one for themselves. Grabbing this second one could lead to a late game win condition in terms of both extra damage for Baron as well as building up Elder advantages. We've already seen that Drake spawn one time today. Maybe we'll get 2, but doesn't look like we're going to see any interference from 100 Thieves on this one. It's an Earth Drake, so we'll give the win.
And once again, I am a bit of a on-the-record Dragon RNG non-fan.
Okay.
I don't really like and this is one of those times where 100 Thieves have a super obvious topside focus with their game plan, and how hard they get punished is kind of related to whatever dragon spawns. Because
if this was 2 Infernals.
2 Infernals or even 2 Oceans, imagine how much that does to help Mundo not get poked out by the Kenen.
Yeah.
There's one of those things where now you have a cloud and a mountain, which really effectively do nothing for your game plan here, whereas if, like you said, you get 2 Infernals or double Ocean or something, it's a very different game. So pretty fortunate for 100 Thieves that this doesn't get punished more with better Drake RNG, because they get the Rift Herald, and then they kind of messed up their advantage that they got by controlling topside. But at the end of the day, Gold lead pretty close to even, and it will be about kind of execution from here.
Echo Fox thinking about maybe executing here in the mid lane, pushing things up, but Linsanity is at the point where he's got the Luden's Echoes, so the Glitter Lance is very good wave clearing tool. Just getting rid of all those minions at once. 129 to 139 CS between those two as well, so Insanity doing a good job keeping up with this Aurelion Soul that we talked so much about his wave clearing and pushing potential. Top side, you can see the Mundo also not going all the way in, completely indexing on armor like we saw in the previous game up against that Aatrox. Instead, he's going to be splitting. He's got the Bombi Cinder, but now going for the Spectre's Cal, recognizing that in the middle of a team fight, he's still going to be taking a lot of AP damage from the Kenen's basic abilities, as well as the Lulu and the Super.
Yeah, that's the big thing. If Kenen was a purely physical damage, or even 75% physical damage, probably not worth indexing into that, because you're just so focused on not falling too far behind the Kenen. But Kenen is a very heavy magic damage user, even with a Blade of the Rune King rush. So definitely not the worst purchase in the world. And if you do end up TPing into a team fight, you're going to be very happy you have it. So definitely wouldn't want to see him go too far down the magic resist rabbit hole, and would like to see him focus a little bit more on his own lane from here on. But one small MR pickup is still a good investment.
Speaking of good investments, I love seeing early Executioners calling from this Kenen against the Mundo. Whenever I see a team that has healing sources like a Mundo and you don't get that item early to deal with it, it hurts my heart a little bit, Mark. And I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that heartache today. That is such an important tech pickup for Brandini to make sure that this Mundo can't recover in this lane.
Absolutely. Well. Still, you know, an item and a half kind of over his opponent, so it doesn't hurt as bad as if you were even or behind. That's the same kind of thing that happens with the QSS. Like, you don't really want to delay your next big item power spike by what is it now?
800.
800. Yeah, 800. So you don't really want to.
Not quite as bad as QSS, but it does allow you to do this and find the solo kill. I don't think that happens. You don't have Executioners calling.
Nope, and that's what we're talking about. You see that Mundo pop his ult and go, and that's it.
I see ya.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything really. And now Brantini still needs to get out of here against Yusui, but shouldn't have too hard of a time. Lightning Rush, back up, gets out.
Popping the lightning. Yusui's still
Camille's
chasing.
still
Yusui
coming.
has Flash. He wants to go after this. Lands the Voice of Light. Camille's on the way. Flash, damage, comes out. Odd Orange, can't go all the way. And Brandini will drop the last tick of the Ignite. Yusui proves that he was right in making that chase.
Yeah, it didn't look like they were going to be able to find that kill. Maybe a little bit of a late flash there by Brandini. As soon as he got hit by the Voice of Light, or maybe even flashing the Voice of Light would have been the right decision. But it was tough to say. And here we see Nintendo at half HP. Just walks forward for that last minion, just a little too greedy. And there you see, just taken down very easily by the Kenen.
Sometimes you see those minions on your screen, you're like, man, that's 14 juicy gold. I really need that in my pocket.
I'll risk giving my opponent 300.
And sometimes that risk does not pay off. Levi forced to use the ultimate very early here. Stun coming back in onto Odd Orange, who may have put himself a little bit too far forward. Does manage to get away. Tarek ultimate wears off, and Stun pays the price.
Good attempt at a counter engage there by 100 Thieves Academy, but just not as many members around. Swain back in base, not contributing at all in that fight. As well as the fact Kenen had just respawned and was moving down to the bot side, so just playing a little too far forward on the side of 100 Thieves Academy.
Levi back to full HP here on the Xin Zhao. Not really too worried about where he's at right now. Riccara, level 9 on the Swain, hitting that point where now you've got that super spammable Q in the fights. Death's Hand will be fired off every couple of seconds. Makes it much easier to sort of fulfill that role of sustained damage that you sacrifice by not having a traditional marksman.
Yep, Emperor Palpatine online.
Yep, ready to go. Let's see if 100 Thieves Academy can use that to their advantage in any of these upcoming fights. The game's still at a very even state overall. Third Drake of the game will be spawning in just over 1 minute. It is going to be yet another Cloud, so more movement speed, but again, no damage, no regen.
And neither team is exactly a comp that loves it. I'd say 100 Thieves Academy would be the one to enjoy the move speed the most. Levi and Riccara want to be people who stay in the mix, and a little bit of move speed is always good for that.
Mundo can quickly go where he pleases now.
Yeah, it helps Mundo, but Lucian having mobility, Camille having mobility, helps position, I guess, with the Aurelion Soul too, so both teams able to use Cloud Drake decently well.
All right, we're seeing what the Braum might try to do in the top side here. Coming around to Lost's aid, Brandini says, hey, I got red buff. That Blade of the Ruined King Executioner's calling Kenen was fun earlier. Wait till you see me now.
Yeah, but it looks like Brandini might be a little over-focused on the 1v1. TP coming in.
Wants to go in. Yusui, they know that the TP is here. They know they're going to fight both these guys. Voice of Light, not going to find anyone. There goes your Slicing Maelstrom. Yusui missing those spells is going to spell the end of not only himself, but also his teammates, the 2 versus 3.
Outplayed by Brandini and Linsanity.
That wasn't even, I don't even know if that's an outplay. Yusui just whiffed everything.
Linsanity stopwatched.
All right, but
we're trying to build him up here, Captain Flowers.
I'm perfectly fine with building people up, but we have also got to criticize where criticism is necessary, and Yusui critically missed some spells there as Levi just blocked up everything. He's so aware of those bullets. The awareness stops the entirety of the culling, and Lost and Adrian have to stand by and watch as the turret goes down. Meanwhile, Brandini and Linsanity taking down the tier 2 in the bottom lane.
All right, a lot to talk about there. Like you said, definitely a misplay on the side of FOXA Academy. It felt like with the 3 members that were going down the bot side, you should have been able to get a pretty good chain CC combo off if you combo the Camille in with the Aurelion Soul correctly, and then you just blow up either Brandini or the Lulu. Ideally the Lulu, because she's the one with the defensive outplay with the ultimate and the E. Yep. But it just is not coordinated very well. Nintendo hanging back, Yusui starts going in, and then just RQs and misses. Did hit him with the R on the Linsanity technically, but there's just no chain CC. And so Linsanity drops his damage, drops his stuff to keep him alive, and no one focuses Brandini the entire time. So Brandini's just very happy auto-attacking there with his ult on, and they win that 2v3 pretty easily.
Yeah, that was a massive win for those two, being able to find that outplay there. And it is going to be third Drake going the way of Echo Fox Academy. So 2 Clouds, 1 Mountain under their belts. The next Mountain will be what spawns here 6 minutes from now, but they're still down 3,000 gold. They're still having a rough time so far. Kenen, Ginsu's Rage Blade, the next item that he decides to complete. So again, more of that sustained damage, more of that auto attack power, more reasons for Mundo to stay the hell away.
Yeah, and Mundo's still working on that first item, having a real
garage sale Mundo.
Real tough game against 2-item Kenen, who's probably never going to group if you can avoid it. Just keep auto attacking things down. And as you can see now, bringing 1 person probably is not going to be enough. Or, bring 2 people to him.
Yeah, you have to super outnumber, not just outnumber, because...
Hey, guess what? Riccara has TP too. You can always just kind of trade who's TPing to the Kenen when you bring 3 people. So I don't know how you're going to attack this Kenen unless you pull off a chain CC combo correctly and actually kill somebody. But otherwise, it's going to be a very, very tough time trying to kill him.
Quick check-in on stopwatches as well. 1 available for Riccara, 1 available for Yusui in the next fight. So we got to keep eyes on those stasis capabilities. to see if anybody can make a big bait that ends up turning the tides of a fight. But that Kenen just attacks so fast, Mark. Even the poor little Kenen minions don't know what to do. And honestly, at this point, they're probably have about as much chance against the Kenen in a 1v1 as Mundo does. He does have the Sunfire Cape done now.
Hey.
We'll have a little bit more wave clear available.
If he's standing next to the minions and not getting autoed by Brandini.
Right, which is honestly a pretty big problem still at this point in time. But hey, we'll see how that goes. And look at bottom lane. 176 farm versus 253. It's a massive economy lead for Lost in terms of how well these two are farming.
Yeah, and we'll get to see Lost put that to use right now versus Rikara.
Remember, Rikara is one of those guys who has the stopwatch. We'll see if he can use it to stay alive. There we go. Staying alive for now. TP's coming in. The stopwatch does buy enough time. Vision of Empire coming through. Adrian may be in some trouble here. Nintendo to the front line. Brandini gonna go ahead, pop the ultimate, looking to stay alive, looking to make something happen here. Nintendo X, the first casualty of this fight. Brandini will now run down the odd orange. The auto attacks are way too strong. They want to grab the crab on the way out, but Linsanity says TY for leash, less than 3 in the all chat. Picks that one up for himself. 140 gold in the pocket, and that's another big win for 100 Thieves.
A big win that's going to turn into a big objective take. Baron on the menu for 100 Thieves now. And there you see the utility that 100 Thieves comp brings in full effect. Brandini's a monster threat right now, and you have a Lulu shield and Terragalt to keep him alive in these fights. They're trying to contest this.
They realize they can't give away this Baron. They have to try to fight 100 Thieves Academy right here, but they go into a 3 versus 5. Baron is already down. They end up giving away 1 kill in the form of their support. Yusui trying to flash. The Vision of Empire will zone him away from the ramp, but he still manages to escape. Brandini will not catch up, and this game is firmly in the hands of 100 Thieves. Levi wants to go over the wall for the flash, catch up to Lost. Clouddrake tries to do the work. Lost tries to do the kiting, but when you're out of mana on a caster-style AD carry, you're just giving 300 gold away.
Yeah, a little surprising flash there, given that his team with the Baron and Powered Recalls were already closing in on Lost, but either way, they picked that kill up. And here's a kind of desperate attempt by Echo Fox to stop this. The problem with Aurelion Sol in situations like this is it's very easy to stun him once and stop his W from being out. If you don't have a way to stun Aurelion Sol, he's a complete nightmare to kind of fight around in a Baron pit. But if you do have a stun, you easily interrupt that, drop his DPS, and then you finish the Baron off very easily. And here you see Levi flashing the wall, messing Lost up, and then saying shows up like, hey dude, I could have just done that, and you could have saved your flash.
Now, Mark, I'm a man who's confident in the stuff I say, but at the same time, I am willing to admit when I am wrong. And I said at the beginning of this game, 100 Thieves make me a believer in this draft. Make me a believer in this composition. And then Kenen said, okay, and he took press the attack and he built a Dorian's Blade into a Blade of the Ruined King. And this composition has worked very well so far for this team. The Kenen has just become this unanswerable problem for the Mundo when we thought the opposite would happen.
Absolutely. Hold on here, Levi.
Levi trying to get away. Does get knocked up into the air. Awareness blocks damage, but not CC, and Adrian ends up being the one to pick up the kill on to the 100 Thieves jungle.
And they find that kill, maybe be able to find another turret for themselves here. Both of the side laners still split pushing. There we see the TP coming in from Ricard to make sure that this push doesn't keep going on. But to your draft point, at the end of the day, I guess what this game is a good example of is execution still very, very important. I still believe that in the late game, Mundo would be a very hard champion to stop. Yes, you have all this utility to keep people alive with the Lulu and the Taric ultimates and things like that. Yes. But the enemy team can kind of just bait those out, Rom ult disengage, and then look to keep fighting and things like that. But if your Mundo is not going to get any help, you're going to go dive bot lane for a 1-for-1 level 3, throw that away, and continuing pressuring bot lane for Cloud Drakes. And your Mundo is just getting railed on in the top lane so that he never becomes that meatball that we're talking about, then yeah, that draft easily falls apart. Because so much of what we were talking about was, they got a Mundo!
Hey, they got Mundo, he's unkillable!
They don't have Mundo anymore!
Dies a lot.
Yeah, so a lot of what we're, same way that you talk about like a hyper-scaling carry in a gold funnel comp, like, wow, that's so strong!
Oh my gosh, Master Yi, he can cut everybody to pieces in seconds.
If it falls apart, it doesn't look so good. Same idea here. We're talking so much about the Mundo being a menace in team fights. He's so far behind. He's a non-factor completely.
7,900, 8,000 gold now versus the 12.8 thousand of the Kenen.
You can hold him.
Kenen is up almost 2 complete items against the Mundo right now as Brandini wants to go in, setting this one up, able to find so much chain CC. Look at that. There's no way out. Mundo's the tank, remember?
Yeah, that didn't
look tanky.
that didn't look too difficult for the Kenen.
No, not even remotely. Guardian Angel also available on Brandini now, so if he goes into this fight, he can even, if he needs to, play one of these fights as a ballistic missile AP Kennen style, where he just runs in and CCs everybody, and it's still going to be fine, because if he dies, he just comes back anyway.
Yeah, definitely the case. We'll have to see what they choose to do. You have to be careful with that in mind. Sometimes the AD Kennens think that, and then they run around in lightning form the whole time, and you can't attack in lightning form, and all your damage is in your auto attacks, so you actually do nothing even though you CC people. But assuming Brandini doesn't do that, he can definitely do what you said, flash in there with his ult on, just make sure you keep auto attacking, CC people up. I mean, you have the Lulu and the Tarek to keep you up, and if you somehow die through all of that, you're coming back.
Use lightning form to get close to the fight, and then as it expires, you flash in, press R, and just auto attack to your heart's content. First Drake of the game for 100 Thieves finally goes down. That's Earth Drake for them. Looks like the final Earth Drake will be the final Elemental Drake right before the Elder Timer would otherwise become available. But it's still 7,000 gold for 100 Thieves Academy versus Echo Fox. And man, things are not looking good for the side of Echo Fox Academy. You've got your Rod of Ages and your Rylai's done for Yusui, so he's got that slowing ability on the stars now, try to keep people in range a little bit more, but if I'm Yusui, I'm not worried so much about people running away from my stars. I'm worried about people just jumping on top of them.
Yeah, that's definitely the bigger concern, and I'm a little surprised to see an inhibitor turret not taken despite the solo kill by Brandini. Onto the Mundo, you can see how much pressure he has, but they haven't been able to quite convert that into an inhibitor down. Next Baron is up in under 2 minutes though, so that'll probably be the one that they really use to snowball the game. Well, I shouldn't say snowball the game, end the game, because the snowball's in full effect.
Levels in this game range from 11 to 15, except for Kenen, who is at level 17. Worth pointing out as well, a huge EXP advantage for this top laner from the side of 100 Thieves. Working now on grabbing some magic resistance. You can see a Spectre's Cal in his own inventory. So
yeah, Brandini in both their wins has been a huge factor, and looking like a guy who's definitely worthy of holding that pick off, giving him counter pick, and then trusting him when he tells you that he has a good idea for him. Because this Kenen pick, we were both skeptical about it.
Yep.
Working out real good.
Both doubted. We've both been proved wrong so far. But remember, it's not over until the Nexus explodes. 100 Thieves still has to make sure they close this game out. They will have Baron spawning in another 50 seconds or so. Ooh, that back was just in time.
Unfortunately, no way to catch him out, but they almost found him. Kenen is making a little bit of a mistake here and focusing a little too hard on killing the Mundo. It's much more important at this point in the game to push down the minion wave and keep Mundo pinned in his base and auto-attack the turret than it is to find the Mundo randomly in his jungle and kill him.
Yeah, it's a little hard to do. It's a pretty big ask.
Yeah.
All right.
It's even if you find it, like, you're not advancing the game plan at all. You just killed a 1 in 5 Mundo again.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we got him for the 6th time. Yeah. Surely this is the time.
Yeah, go push that minion wave in, force the Mundo under his turret, auto-attack the turret in front of his face, and dare him to stop you. That's going to be the faster way to close this game out.
I do want to point out, because we spent some time praising builds, both in this game and the last game, the build that you said you were hoping for the Mundo, building for the lane, building for survivability in the 1 versus 1, not coming online. Sunfire Cave's still the only armor item as we break out into the fight, and Echo Fox immediately lose their jungler. Tarek ultimate gonna make sure there's no response coming back. Rikara on the front line trying to use the demon player. Adrian having a 1v1 against Levi. The calling comes through. Stun's gonna be taken low. Insanity here as well. Echo Fox looking to turn this one back around. Rikara, the next one to drop as Lost makes it a 1-for-1.
Hey, you know what? Kenen doesn't TP in there. You can win that fight. We talk about how it's a 4,000 gold lead, 5,000 gold lead explicitly on the Kenen. He was busy fighting the Mundo, took the turret in front of him, but didn't get the kill. Does take the inhibitor, but they did lose a 1-for-1 for it. Unfortunately for Echo Fox, they couldn't keep auto orange up. Maybe if they pull that off, they can brute force down around the Baron or something. Not the case. A very close fight for Echo Fox, but you see that that 4-man comp that we're talking about, how it doesn't quite work that well against Echo Fox's comp. Imagine if this was a game where the Mundo didn't get shut down and that's a 5v5. Probably goes pretty well for Echo Fox.
Echo Fox also did a great job playing around the Tarek ultimate, because here, we're gonna see it again, right here.
Yep, they jump in right away, insta-give, but then the Braum, this is what I was saying, has a really easy job disengaging after that, and the rest of the team, no gap closers really, other than the Zen. They just kind of run at you slowly. And if you're able to kite that out, you can actually go and turn back and fight once that Tarek ultimate's out.
And I thought this was going to be such a bad situation because it's 3 versus 4. The Taric ultimate was on, but they say, nope, Taric ulti's on, leave until it falls down, and then they turn around and get a kill. Very well played from the side of Echo Fox Academy, but they've still got to work themselves back from this 8K gold deficit. Now with Inhibitor down bottom, it means that Baron pressure will naturally lend itself to 100 Thieves.
And I would love to see 100 Thieves actually keep the Kenen in the bot lane. One thing we've seen a number of times in Academy and elsewhere across the professional scene is that with everyone taking TP now, you can keep your split pusher down the bot lane. The enemy team has to force Baron or something, and then you TP people to the split pusher to end the game. It's a strategy that's actually worked a number of times, and with Lulu and Swain with their TPs available, I would love to see Brandini actually escorting super creeps onto the Nexus, and then you just brute force a Baron yourself. If you get the Baron, great. And if the enemy team is contesting you with the Baron, TP 2 people to the Kenen.
Yep. TP, if you TP Rakara and Linsanity in there, and then Levi and Stunt, you're just like, okay, fight them for 3 seconds and just let us kill Nexus.
Yeah, they have no TPs to match on Echo Fox's side, so I actually prefer not to see the Kenen grouping up too much here.
Nintendude will keep pushing out the bottom lane, does have level 16 now on this Mundo, does have teleport available, all 3 TPs up and running for 100 Thieves Academy. Brandini will take down that top lane tier 2 turret, does have his adaptive helm completed now as well. Only thing left to do is turn that Executioner's Calling into a Mortal Reminder, and all will be said and done as 100 Thieves brute force onto that Baron, exactly like you're talking about, but they do not have Brandini in the bottom lane. Instead, he's going to be right here, ready for the fight. Odd Orange almost needs to find a steal. Echo Fox Academy not going to give him the opportunity. They know that they're, 100 Thieves Academy has to make sure they don't allow Echo Fox to find the steal. 100 Thieves not willing to risk that 50-50. Nintendude on the front line, trying to be the meatball he always wanted to be, but it's just been so hard this game. 100 Thieves will back away from the objective.
Nintendude actually burned his ultimate running in to get in range to participate in that fight, so he doesn't have it to really be that massive front line that he wants to be. As well as the fact that he's shut down still right now, so have to be careful. The bot wave is starting to build up, so despite 100 Thieves getting a little close on that one, playing it a little risky, they did manage to disengage successfully. Now Mundo has to go back down to the bot lane, and now the pressure continues to build against Echo Fox.
Mundo gets to go back into this bot lane with his buddy that's been hanging out with him there the whole time. Blame the Ruin King gets popped, the ulti goes down. Nintendude trying to get away on this one, does avoid the second stun. But with Nintendude as low as he is, 100 Thieves are saying, okay, it's time to try for the Baron here again. Nexus turret's in some trouble. Here comes your TPs. This is what we were talking about. This could be the game ender. Linsanity already makes his way into the fight. Going to be using the Zhonya's Hourglass, keeping himself alive. Brandini takes down the second Nexus turret. Yusui trying to defend this, but 100 Thieves, they run their opponents around. They do what needs to be done. They bait the Baron. They find the Nexus, and that's your win.
Great win there by 100 Thieves Academy. I gotta say, I like that they ran my play. I called the play.
You did.
They ran it.
Mark had it. He knew the playbook the entire time and predicted.
It's a legitimate macro play that we haven't seen ever, because there's usually not that many teleports in the game, and especially not on champions that are good at ending the game. We usually see top lanes with TP. We see mages in the mid lane that didn't have the ability to take turrets down as easily with TP. Marksmen with TP, split pushers with TP, supportive enchanters who do a lot of auto attack damage like Lulu with TP, end games quickly.
And this game, I want to go back again to Champion Select because it looked so bad early on because we were thinking AP Kenen. And then they switch up, they go AD Kenen, and he just takes over the game against the Mundo that could just never get off the ground. And it created situations that were honestly pretty surprising. 19 minutes in, this first replay that we have for you guys, the 3-for-0 bottom lane in a 2 versus 3.
Yeah, so like you called out during the cast, Yusui gonna not play this one quite right. His ult doesn't provide any CC, just some damage. It also misses his Q, missing that range. So when the Camille goes in, there's no chain CC. They also don't know who to focus down. They're trying to kill Insanity, but with stopwatch and ult, he does fine. And Brandini is just left there auto-attacking with his ult on, melting the members. And
those Kenen auto attacks were ferocious this game. There were multiple times he just walked up to the Mundo and auto attacked him to death, likely because Mundo just wasn't prepared for the amount of damage coming his way.
I mean, after that fight, he was 5-2-1 or something like that with
something ridiculous.
Ginsu's Executioner's Calling, Blade of the Ruin King. That's going to melt through anybody in the game, not just the Mundo at that point. So huge game out of Brandini. Absolutely kind of the solo carry 1v9 gameplay. And
you know, talking about Brandini, why don't we start talking to Brandini? To hear more about that victory, I'd like to welcome him now to the broadcast here via Skype. Brandini, fantastic job out there today.
Thanks.
So I think the first question we have to ask is, how did it feel playing that Kenen? You had kind of to live the dream where you get super huge, but did you feel like a lot of pressure on yourself that you were your team's main win condition based off the draft phase, or did you have a different read on it?
I think personally, Kenen is like one of my favorite champions, especially the AD style. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun on it. And yeah, there's a lot of pressure when you play carries, and the other side of the map has to sack their lane for you. So gotta do what I can.
So when the Kenen was locked in, was the initial plan from the moment that the champion was picked to go for the AD Kenen approach? Was there a conversation about, like, it was initially a plan to be AP and then we switch it over? Like, what was the dialogue like to make sure this composition succeeded?
I think AD Kenen fits more in comps than AP, or at least against other champions. Like if you play AD Kenen against Mundo, you'll always beat him no matter what. And if you play AP, he's just gonna buy an MR item and just run you down in the side lane. It's also harder to play against in 5v5s.
Interesting, because I think a lot of people say the AP Kenen is the one that people prefer in 5v5s. You like the AD version?
I just like the AD version, especially with like a Lulu to support. You can basically just become another AD carry that no one can kill.
All right, so the first game that your team played this week against Cloud9 Academy didn't go so hot for you guys. This game, the exact opposite. Everything looked clean. It went how you wanted it to from start to finish. The Mundo could never answer what you wanted to do. What is the difference between those two games and the difference in the performance of the team? And how do you guys feel now sitting on a 2-2 record at the end of week 2 moving forward?
I think in the C9 game, we lost a lot of pressure from through mid and jungle, but in this game, it was pretty stable, and we knew how to respond to enemy plays properly, whereas in C9, we were kind of frantic.
So do you guys think that being able to maintain that composure and just making sure you're always on top of that response is the key to racking up some more wins in the coming weeks?
Yep, I think we just play accordingly to which side is the strongest and make sure we just leave as little openings as possible.
And so you guys joined up here on 100 Thieves Academy after your time on TSM. How has it been integrating with this roster, working with Levi and all the other players?
I think compared to this team and TSM, we didn't work so hot as a team on TSMA, even though our roster was like pretty well built. But on this team, I feel like everyone always listens to my opinions, and Levi will always know what I want, even without asking him anything.
You guys just have that sort of a connection, huh? Everybody knows that they're on the same page.
We both just know what to do already in our own roles.
That's fantastic to hear, man. Sounds like you guys definitely got the recipe for success there. Once again, congratulations on an outstanding performance here today. Thank you for coming on to talk to us, and best of luck in the upcoming weeks.
Yep, thanks.
All right, guys, we got one more game coming up for you next. After the break, TLA takes on Optic Academy. Only one will remain undefeated. Don't you go anywhere. Coming through, stun gonna be taken low. One more hit'll do it. Odd Orange gets in there. He will be taken down. It's a 1-for-1. Goes your slicing Maelstrom. Yusui missing those spells is gonna spell the end of not only himself, but also his teammates. The 2 versus 3 will now run down the Odd Orange. The auto attacks are way too strong. They want to grab the crab on the way out, but Linsanity says TY for leash. Less than 3 in the all chat. Calling comes through. Stun's gonna be taken low. Linsanity here as well. Echo Fox looking to turn this one back around. Rakara, the next one to drop. This is what we were talking about. This could be the game ender. Linsanity already makes his way into the fight. Going to be using the Zhonya's Hourglass, keeping himself alive. Brandini takes down the second Nexus turret. Yusui trying to defend this.